Thank you, Shirley, for your thoughts and insights into your time at St. Joseph. It is now my pleasure to introduce the valedictorian of the class of 2011, Sean McCormick.
Parents, family members, faculty, staff, graduates of the class of 2011, good afternoon. A wise man once said that there was good reason as to why these ceremonies are referred to as commencement exercises, that graduation is not an end, but a beginning. And yet today, as I stand before you, my fellow graduates, it is very clear that this ceremony represents the culmination of the past 4 years of our lives, that our time together as knights has come to a close. Before I get all profound on everyone, I ask my fellow graduates to take a moment to remember where we have come from. For myself, and quite a few amongst you, my time at St. Joseph began with 6 weeks of summer school prior to the start of freshman year. I can distinctly remember how intimidating it all seemed, learning algebra from Mr. Crow, while sitting next to my soon-to-be good friend Bobby Jones, who scared the daylights out of me with his already extremely developed facial hair. Soon those 6 weeks were over, and we found ourselves seated in the gym as Miss Coloni explained to all of us that high school was merely 8 semesters, that the timer had started, and that it was up to us to make the most of our time here. That day we learned that the class of 2011 was special. We were the largest class ever to walk the halls of this institution, and here we stand today, the largest class ever to graduate from it. The years between that August day orientation and today have flown by. Freshman year, we were naive and immature, burdened with classes, relationships, and sports teams. And for most of us, we were having the time of our lives. We made new friends and said goodbye to some old ones. We braved the cold fall nights for football games. We attended dances and retreats. And we listened to Mr. Chabreau teach geography class. Sophomore year was upon us in a flash. Once again, we sat in the gym, listening to Mr. Myers explain to us that sophomore meant that we were wise fools, but that really we weren't all that wise, and we had better behave and wear our collars. We took great pride in the fact that we were no longer freshmen. We still braved the cold for football games, though we sat higher up in the bleachers. We were growing up closer as a class that year. Our schedules were tougher. A few of us had begun our AP courses. The girls' basketball team began to dominate, and high school was in full swing. Many of us turned 16 sophomore year, and driving changed everything. For those of us that were there after school on the ominous Friday of the homecoming parade, the sound of Matt Spencer crashing his dad's Cobra, we began to run on the road. We were juniors, upperclassmen finally. Our schedules were tough that year. I know I can speak for many of us when I recall long nights at homework, studying into the morning hours, and trying to balance all that we had on our plates. There were a lot of perks to being upperclassmen, though. Our lockers were on top. Mr. Ontiveros began to view us as actual humans. We walked the halls with our heads held high. While many of us still enjoyed those fall Friday nights in the bleachers, my brothers and I were out on the field. But like the years previous, junior year was soon over, and we found ourselves on the verge of seniority. We commandeered the senior lawn during senior finals and prepared to reign supreme at St. Joe. And then it was upon us. Senior year, the beginning of the end of our time here. Many of us, myself included, contracted that violent virus of which Shaylee has just spoken. Luckily, Facebook was and is a readily available cure for nonchalance. One that worked quite well, as today we are all graduating. This year has been just as exciting as the rest, with the successes of our sports teams, the intensity of our crowd, and the return of Powder Cup, where our senior girls were victorious. Many of us reaffirmed our faith on Kairos. We learned about ourselves and our class as a whole. And through it all, there were college applications and the stress and anxiety that they brought with them. As applicants, we spent months traveling the country and researching, looking for that perfect school, the one we could fall in love with. Once we had found it, we courted that school as it was to be our spouse. We showed ourselves to these schools with test scores and essays, community service and letters of recommendation. We got down on one knee and submitted our final proposal, one of a marriage But we were prepared, and we made sure to propose to a bunch of other colleges. And now 61% of the graduating class of 2011 will be attending a four-year university in the fall. Congratulations to us. For our success, we must thank our support. Like any great building, we cannot stand without a firm foundation. To the parents of graduates in this room today, whether it be in body or spirit, thank you. To the teachers who have taught us both lessons from textbooks and lessons from life, thank you. To our coaches and family, to Sark for calling us all morons, and to Father Ed for 4 years of great homilies and expert advice on life, thank you. And so here we stand today, aware that this ceremony does represent the fruition of our years at St. Joseph's, yet equally aware that this moment is a commencement, a beginning, a platform from which to launch into the vast expanse that is the rest of our lives. I am not going to stand here today and tell you that this class of 167 graduates is going to change the world, or that greatness lies in all of our futures, because statistically speaking, neither are true. However, I can stand today at this podium and state with confidence something that I know to be the truth. That no matter where our lives take us from this point forward, we have been equipped here at this institution with the necessary tools to take on the challenges that await us. From what I understand, the road ahead of us is not an easy one to travel. It is a road full of obstacles, some more imposing than others, some that may seem insurmountable. But greatness is relative, and each of you possesses something that makes he or she great. And so I leave you today with this final farewell, the lyrics to a Rascal Flatts song. I hope you never look back, but you never forget the ones who loved you in the place you left. I hope you always forgive, and you never regret, and you help somebody every chance you get. My wish for you is that life becomes all that you want it to. Graduates of the class of 2011, we did it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. And now to give us an opportunity to reflect upon the words of our student speakers, we have asked Senior Haley Baldwin, accompanied by Senior Angela Piscano, to provide us with a musical interlude. Haley and Angie will perform Wherever I Go by Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, it's me.